Well, good morning, Steve.
All right.
Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Jeff.
It's been a while. You look good.
Hello, Alex.
Hola.
Thank you. This is my summer wear.
Yeah. Well, we're missing
that.
the brick background.
Yeah, I'm not in the comedy club this afternoon. I am joining you from my office, which is kind of a loft area overlooking the living room, my home office. But yeah, I've got it is the 4th of July week, so it's been a at-home week for me. How about you guys?
So you're staying at home?
Yep, been home all this week.
Your house is like a vacation house, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like traveling in the summer. In fact, my July and August are usually slower than my November, December, because I just assume, not. I love visiting dealerships, but I just assume not leave in July and August. Those are really our seasons here. So.
Yeah, I mean, with what you got the big lake.
Lake Coeur d'Alene, yeah, and we're on the Spokane River, so it's about we're about 8 miles by river to Lake Coeur d'Alene. So, it's a 20-minute little boat ride out to get to the lake, but it's a wide enough river that you can ski if you're a skier. You water ski and wakeboard and stuff right out off our dock. So, again, yeah, why would I travel? I don't like going places in the summer. So.
No, I traveled during the winter. Hey, did you catch last week's Refresh Friday with Bryce?
I did. I was in and out because I had a conflict time wise. But yeah, I did see it. Bryce is a good guy, good product.
Yeah, trade pending.
For sure. See, Jeff's got the trade pending swag.
Yeah.
The DIY swag.
Advertising. Speaking of advertising sponsors, this Refresh Friday is brought to you by Podium. We had Podium on, we had Matt Murray on probably several weeks ago at this point. We should get him back on board. But if you're a dealership and you're looking for some reputation management, reviews, all that good stuff, they really do have a strong product. I was pretty impressed.
Well, we need to get Matt on because they have a new product that they need to tell us a bit more about. It's a texting product that is sort of a way around managed tech services.
So is it using text just to get reviews, or is it just a combination of full-on chat text?
I haven't seen it in full, so I can't speak to it 100%, but I believe it is actually a way to give the right text to the right person in the store so that you don't have to do a managed text service, because managed text services, at least what I've seen, is
Yeah, I don't know who really provides a full-on managed text service outside of companies that already manage chat.
Well, yeah, like Gubagoo does it, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, and again, a lot of your chat services provide it, but I haven't seen a standalone text, which I don't know why you would.
I think AutoWeb might have a version of it in former AutoBytel, but back to Podium, I haven't seen their text program, but their reputation management, steps are solid. It's not phony reputation management. It's not building, fake reviews or trying to, manage your SEO so that your bad reviews don't show up. It's authentic. So I like those guys. So they're sponsoring today. That's good. All right.
What was I going to say? I mean, I'm with you, Steve. It's just a straight up great service to go after reviews. I also like the fact that they're not just an automotive. They're across several other different verticals as well. But Steve, you said something about we don't even know what we're going to talk about today. You wanted to sort of keep this some big surprise, which scares the shit out of me personally.
No. Well, you don't know what I'm going to say about bounce rate, but truly when I commented about bounce rate on Alex's post, or when he asked me to expand on the Dealer Refresh post about bounce rate, it really was too much to put in comments. It's more than a tweet or more than a comment. Before we get started, with my opinion, as you know, I love my opinion. Folks who are watching, like and share this live video so that we can get more folks interested in Steve Stauning and all things Steve Stauning, and especially DealerRefresh. Including
your book that's coming out?
My book? Well, yeah, so as long as you're talking about books, let's first talk about, well, yeah, so this is my original, okay? So we all know about Shit Sandwich. That is still out, but I have a real book, if you will, coming out. Shit Sandwich was a real book. It's made out of paper, and, it has pictures and stuff in it, but yeah, so that is, this next book is the shit, right? It's actually, it's called Assumptive Selling. Truly, it's not a joke book like Shit Sandwich is. Although Shit Sandwich is, if you give it to your millennial kids, they'll grow up understanding that the world's not fair and it takes work to get ahead. So, about all we can teach them these days. But Assumptive Selling is a complete guide to selling cars to today's connected customers. It's for salespeople. It's for managers. It's even for dealer principals. There are lessons for everybody in it. It truly is, in my opinion, a complete guide. It's 404 pages long. We are, with very few pictures, sorry. We are in the final stages of editing. This weekend we'll be done with the edits. We'll get a proof in a week after that. And so it'll probably be for sale on the Amazon within 2 weeks. And I will certainly promote it on DealerRefresh and through all my social channels. But I'm really excited about this one. So Shit Sandwich I expected would sell 1 million copies. That was my goal. We're only 1,000 times below that right now. We're just over 1,000 copies. So we're getting there, right? Shit Sandwich has been out, this month will be exactly a year. So it's only 999 more years before we hit our 1 million books. So we're excited about that. Well, but Assumptive Selling, because it's what? How
sounds like you're on pace.
Yeah. Assumptive Selling is because it's for dealership employees, managers, and really only on the variable side. The audience is limited. So if we could sell, in all honesty, 10,000 copies, it would be awesome. The first couple months that it's out, probably August and September, we're going to tie into a charity where we're going to donate up to $10,000 to a charity based on the number of copies that we sell. So we've got a couple charities in mind, one we've already reached out to, one we will reach out to. As you know from my free training site, stevestauning.com, it's 100% free, and all I ask for people who visit that and use the training is to click on the Give Back button and give back to one of those charities based on how many cars I helped you sell. So anyway, that's the new book, Assumptive Selling. Once it's out, as you know, I'll promote the heck out of it.
No, you? Well, congrats on the second book. That's pretty exciting. Make sure Alex and myself get a free copy of this.
Damn right.
I will. Yes. Free copies to the two of you. I'll just need the address. Well, Hagerstown, I'll know where that is. The Mercedes there. Alex, I'll need your address, but I'll send you a note to give me that.
So
because the retail price. Well, the retail price of Assumptive Selling is going to be $49, and I know that's high, but you know what? How much is selling 10, 12 more cars a month for a salesperson worth, right? And truly, if they follow the concepts in Assumptive Selling, it'll make your 8-car salespeople 20, 25, 30 car per month salespeople. I guarantee it. Here's my guarantee. If it doesn't turn you into a 30 car per month seller, you have a reading comprehension problem. There's my guarantee.
No money back.
No money back, baby. $49 and I'm keeping every penny.
I just opened up an email this morning. It was an email from a vendor, and the salesperson definitely has been taking on some assumptive selling. That's for sure.
Huh.
It's a nice little trick.
Just not Stauning's brand.
No, it wasn't Stauning.
That's right.
Because if he was using Steve's, you would have bought it.
Probably.
That's right. Everybody's a buyer, baby. Everybody's a buyer.
So what's going on with some of these KPIs and the bounce rate? Let's get into this.
Well, let's do a little refresher real quick. How did we get here? Because I I just want to point out how much of a blackmail this show was. So it started, I can't even remember what the post was. It was something on Facebook that on the Dealer Refresh page, and you came in and said something like bounce rates are meaningless. And I asked you to elaborate, and you said you couldn't. And we went back and forth a little bit. And finally you said, well, maybe I'll tell you if you have me on Refresh Friday. So there we go. That's blackmail.
Yeah. So
I
think the post on Dealer
for stats.
Yeah, I just got to drop that little nugget, and you followed the trail. The post was a Dealer Refresh post that talked about how important is bounce rate or something like that, and I just wrote it's meaningless. And to be very clear, bounce rate is meaningless. It is absolutely meaningless. I don't care. You might say, well, wait, Steve, wait, don't you want to reduce your bounce rate? Why? Your only goal of your website has two goals: attract visitors and convert those visitors into buyers. That's it. The only two goals. There are no other goals. Wait, Steve. My website's supposed to help me sell my dealership to the public. To what end? To convert them into a buyer, right? So everything about your website is two goals: attract visitors, convert visitors into buyers. That's it, nothing else. So help me understand how a high bounce rate or a low bounce rate affects your ability to sell cars. And I'll jump to the low bounce rate first. Steve, a low bounce rate means they're engaged with my site. Maybe it means that they're bought traffic and they're clicking to see 6, 7 pages. Steve, a high bounce rate means that they're not going to become a buyer. No, maybe they were just looking for your phone number, and your website set up properly where your phone number is prominently placed. Maybe your pay-per-click is really good and it dropped them on the exact page they needed to see, and they didn't need to see another one. And so that would be a high bounce rate.
Maybe you've got a high bounce rate because it's so amazing. When somebody comes to your site, they have to bounce right off and head into the store immediately.
Absolutely. Maybe the offer that they saw is so compelling. My point is, bounce rate by itself is meaningless. If you want to compare it with other KPIs like, stuff humans can do, like phone calls and lead forms and sales, well then great, I'm all in. Let's take a look at bounce rate. But if you're going to talk about bounce rate and then things that humans, that any bot can do, like page views, pages per visit, VDP views, any of that stuff, well, that stuff's meaningless to me. It really is. It fails Uncle Joe's disc test.
There's a good comment here from Christine on Facebook, and she is saying maybe your advertising is crap, and that would indicate a high bounce rate. And that's something to watch.
So maybe.
I would argue that is something to watch.
So hang on. So let's start with I want to address Chad Morgan's point as well on that. But so let's start with maybe your advertising is crap. So I just had a dealer who dropped a thief of an SEM company, an absolute, and I'm not going to name them, search engine marketing company that was literally stealing more than 10 grand a month from this dealer, just stealing it. It was easy to catch. We caught him quickly. Anyway, this search engine marketing company came back 6 months later, I think, and tried to get the dealer back, had forgotten that we caught them stealing. And the way that they wanted to get the dealer back is they showed the dealer their Google Analytics for pay-per-click from the previous year and compared it to this year. I guess they still had access to Google Analytics, or their code was still on the dealer site. Anyway, the bounce rate they showed the dealer from last year, they showed the dealer, I'm going to say, I'm probably going to get it wrong, but they showed the dealer like 20,000 visits from pay-per-click, forget the visits. They showed them something like 500,000 page views from pay-per-click. Yes, 500,000 in 1 month, and showed a bounce rate of 0.4% from their pay-per-click. Well, that's not possible. That's not how a human would react. And they were trying to compare that to I think the new provider, the honest provider that the dealer has like a 36% bounce rate on pay-per-click, and has
provider that it's only stealing $1,000 a month.
Right, and they have 6.2 pages per view versus the whatever 20 pages per view that the last provider. My point is, if you truly thought that, well, a low bounce rate means you have better advertising, well then go spend your money with the company sending you bots. Chad's point is absolutely valid. Supposedly low bounce rate is an indicator to Google algorithms that your site is not quality enough to promote in the first position in search results. That's partially right, yes. So when we're talking about our organic traffic that comes from a Google search, it is better to have a low bounce rate, fewer people seeing one page and leaving, than it is to have a higher one. However, with one caveat, Google is pretty smart, and they know that if somebody comes to, let's say somebody types in, Dallas Honda dealer, and they get to your site and they see one page and they leave, that is an indicator that it might be a poor quality result. That's if they then go and search for another Dallas Honda dealer. Perhaps when they got to your site, they saw everything they needed on one page. A blog is a good example of this. So I run a couple of blogs, AskTheManager.com, and I run SteveStauning.com. And we get we have high bounce rates on both of those because people come and see only one page and then they leave. But that's typical. They searched for a topic, they found that topic, they watched the video on SteveStauning.com, and they were done and they left. Or on AskTheManager.com, they read the article they wanted to read and they left. Yet we have tremendous SEO on both sites, tremendous search visibility, and we get a lot of visitors. And Google hasn't punished us for that high bounce rate because the bounce rate makes sense. So, thoughts?
Two things. Have you run across a lot of companies that are, feeding dealerships a bunch of baloney around bounce rates?
This is the first one that made it their lead, if you will.
Okay.
But I do, I remember years ago a website company, I won't name them, but they're a major one. They created a fake click on their site so that when someone came to the website, visitor came to the website, it basically refreshed it to homepage number 2. And so what that did is, for the short term, it fooled Google into thinking that they saw 2 pages. Now, I don't think that's accurate today. I think Google's pretty smart, like I said. But they were selling that as, look, when people come to our site, it's sticky, right? They're gonna spend more time on the site. Bounce rate like response time for email lead response for leads. It's one of the easiest things to game if you really want to, right? So you can send bot traffic in that will reduce the bounce rate. You can force people into a funnel that will reduce the bounce rate, right? Instead of having your phone number available at the very top, you can say, click here for phone number, and someone has to click to see it, right? Well, gosh, my bounce rate just dropped, right? Yeah, Craig said dealer.com pop-ups used to do the same thing. The entry pop-up was an iframe that had the analytics code on it, so every homepage visit launched the pop-up counted as 2 page views. That's according to Craig. Bounce rate went from 35% to like 5%. Yeah, that was my experience.
I've personally never witnessed a company that touts the bounce rate, but maybe it's because I shut them off early. I mean, my goodness, it's been a long time since I've heard anyone really promote the bounce rate. Because even back in the day, I was, a phone call, a simple phone call. Bounce rate just means maybe they got to the page and they got exactly what they wanted. There was no need to go any further.
Yeah, to Chad's
point.
So
it sounds like bounce rate is meaningless.
Behind a click.
Say it again.
Oh, Chad Morgan made another point that you should put your phone number behind a click, like the rest of the internet does it.
Yeah, but does that help? I mean, is that necessary?
It's artificial, and it actually may piss off customers.
Well, yeah.
Right? Again, Google's pretty smart.
But there's too many
Google's really
things that
smart.
go into what Google's looking for. Another one that came up this week was site speed.
Yeah.
So if you got a slow first byte, that can hurt. But
it can hurt, but
does it really?
Go ahead.
Does it really?
But does it really exist in automotive? Most of the site providers are pretty credible. I don't think anyone's really lacking on providing the first byte.
And it's still about the customer's experience. Google wants to, think about, for those of us who used Ask Jeeves in the day, or who used Yahoo when it was a search engine, right? If you got your result on page 1, you were lucky. I remember going 6, 7, 8 pages deep on Ask Jeeves to find my result. Today, if I scroll to the 3rd organic result on my search, I've done something wrong, right? Because I usually find it right away. So while site speed, I think, is certainly part of their algorithm, I think it's pretty clear that it is. I think it depends on the experience. So you could have a relatively slower site, not dial-up speed, but a relatively slower site compared to other sites. But if everybody who gets there finds what they're looking for and doesn't go back to Google and search again for the same result, they're going to keep returning you. So,
yeah.
And Chad Morgan is right. Google is feeding everybody smoke and mirrors. Yep.
Well, I've always looked at
I'm with you. Google's not your friend.
A dealership website is a destination point. They're there for a reason 9 times out of 10. So, again, that even comes into the bounce rate as well. They're there for a reason. They're there to find a phone number, or they're there to look for inventory. They're there to find out what maybe their trade appraisal is through trade pending, any of those number of things. So it's
nice plug.
Yeah.
Where's the price?
But if they got on for example, if you landed them on a BDP through your pay-per-click, and there's the trade pending thing right across the top, and they filled that out, that's not going to take them to a new page within the dealer site. That'll show as a bounce, and yet it generated a lead. Holy cow. Again, does it sell cars? The bounce rate has never passed the disc test for me. Absolutely has never mattered. It's meaningless.
I agree with that. And I did watch bounce rate back in the day, 10 years ago. I guess that's back in the day now. But today, right, it doesn't hold as much water as it once did. And back to the site speed for a minute, I just want to push on this a little bit more, because this has been a topic of conversation this week in the forums. Not as mysterious as you've been, Steve. This one's actually been talked about. But it sounds like some people are making purchase decisions of new website providers, services based on site speed. And that's another one, to Jeff's point, that dealership websites, much like dealerships themselves, are not places that people just go hang out. They're there on a mission. They've got a task that they're trying to perform. And so they could be a little more forgiving about how fast the site is and things like that. And I don't think that one holds as much water as it once did either.
Yeah, again, I think it's also relative. So, if your site is loading in 0.02 seconds and my site's loading in 0.03 seconds, I don't think that my site is going to be penalized by Google if I'm providing content that people can find and they find useful. I think it's a bit overblown. I did see a dealer site this week, and I'm not going to embarrass them, that's built in Cold Fusion. This is an American dealer. Their site's built in Cold Fusion. For those who don't know, you'll see a .cfm at the end of some URL strings. How old is that? It's all frames. It's I haven't seen it, Jeff. I haven't seen a site like that in over 10 years.
I'm trying to think of the providers that actually did that.
What they do, cache their old Dealer Skins website.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot Dealer Skins was Cold Fusion. They back in the day, yeah, and they and their mobile site is just a squished version of their main site. I kid you not. I really thought this must be like a dealer in New Zealand or something, you know, someplace that it's not as competitive as the U.S. But no, I literally saw it yesterday. I'll send you a link. I'm not going to embarrass you.
Idaho.
Here. No. Now you're going to make me go look to make sure what market they're in. I'm not going to say anything else on the call, but yeah, no, they weren't in Idaho. So nice try.
What are some
keep going? I'll find this.
Yeah, what are some other KPIs that's been sort of, I don't want to say shoved down our throats, but it's always been brought or maybe used to sell different service or product that we know for a fact is overrated or just not as important as we've been made to believe?
Well, so one of the things about measurements before we get Alex, if you cannot affect the measurement by doing something different, then stop measuring it, right? So that's another reason I don't like bounce rate. So bounce rate's high. What am I going to do? Hide my phone number? Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
Oh, I was just responding to Jeff. What other things have we chased that probably aren't as important as?
Well, I was thinking.
I just said leads.
I was going to say lead conversion. You know, I know that that'll cause quite a few enemies out there, but I mean, I know me personally, I have, the whole lead conversion. And when I say lead conversion, I'm talking about traditional form fill. Is it something that I measure? Absolutely. Is it something that, and I used to be the opposite, man. I used to just drill conversion. Form conversion was like the most important thing to me. But over the past 6-7 years, I've really gotten away from that. And now I don't want to say I'm completely away from it, but there's definitely more points of conversion than worrying about the damn form fill.
Christine's talking about how her pay plan used to be based on leads, and I just want to apologize to her for that. Mine was too, though.
I tell you, so I got away from lead conversion once and was testing out our website and removed all the forms. And at the time, we were using the service, Hook Logic at the time, now called AutoHook, and it would incentivize the customer to come into the dealership to test drive the vehicle. So I removed all forms. There were no forms on the website, at least on the VDP or the SRP. Instead, it was click here for your $25 gift card. You could print it off, send it to your phone, share it, whatever you want to do once you've hit that button. And at the time, you didn't even have to put in an email address unless you wanted it sent to you. So we didn't even ask for a first name, last name, nothing. Just click here, print off your incentive, come into the dealership to test drive. It worked way better than what I thought it would have. Problem was, we were just about to hit 3 months. Now, the dealership at the time, it was the best 3 months that dealership had ever had. Now, was it because of that? No, it wasn't. I think a bunch of other things came together and the moons and the stars aligned. However, looking at the measuring trends and all that such, and looking at the conversion versus no conversion and making the changes that we made, we had a decent amount of people bringing in the test drive incentive. The whole point of the story was, though, even though it was so successful and measuring trends was on the up and up, I had to get rid of it for one reason. The internet sales manager, air quotes, his pay was just demolished because he had no more leads now. So we took something that was definitely in the positive direction, something pretty gosh darn new at the time, because this was probably 6-7 years ago.
That was longer ago than that, Jeff.
It may have. I try to forget that. It probably was. And we got rid of it because we had a pay plan set up that, incentivized the internet sales manager by lead.
I'm sitting. You're kind of reminding me of. I'm down here in Virginia Beach. This will be my last Refresh Friday from Virginia Beach, and then it's back up to Vermont. And but while I'm down here, I'm staying with my grandfather, who's the founder and dealer principal of Checkered Flag, and he's in his 90s, and down here to spend time with him. And we were talking about what's wrong with car dealerships, and we kind of came to the conclusion it's really down to two things: it's ego and pay plans. And if you can check the ego at the door and you can design a pay plan that truly works for the customer, then you will be a very successful dealership.
Pay plans. Yeah, that's always a hot topic. But it seems as if it's a hot topic, but it doesn't seem to change much. I have yet to see a pay plan that plays to what you're saying, Alex. What about you, Steve?
Well, as they say in this business, everyone works their pay plan. And the key, I think, is to make sure that you have rules around your pay plan that drive the activity that you want. So the pay plan is about the results, right? Guy gets 30 cars, he's going to get this spiff, he's going to make this bonus, he gets this commission. But where I see dealers going wrong is you get the dealer principal, he's lamenting about how no one will make their calls. I can't get my team to make their calls. They won't make their calls. And yet when somebody bops in who bought 5 years ago, without even asking for their salesman from 5 years ago, suddenly that deal belongs to that salesman from 5 years ago who won't, make his owner marketing calls. Forget it. I have a simple rule. I call it the protected prospects rule. And that is, if somebody arrives without an appointment, and when I say without an appointment, I mean 45 minutes each side of the appointment, or they arrive without asking for you by name in earshot of a manager, it's an open floor. Everybody can sell them. Anybody can sell them, and we're never going to split a deal. So you got somebody you sold 10 cars to over the years. They show up without an appointment. No manager hears them ask for you by name. Whoever ups them can sell them. I'm not going to split the baby anymore, because that rule will reward aggressive salespeople. The guy who's willing to make the call and the guy who's willing to up everybody who walks on the lot. It'll shock you, but there are dealerships out there where people can wander around for 20 minutes unless a manager sees them, and no one will up them. I know, I was just at one 2 weeks ago. So that protected prospect rule, more than anything else, changes the dynamic in the dealership, and it stops rewarding lazy salespeople.
Well, back to pay plans for a minute, for the audience that's here, and talking about how leads are probably not as valuable as they once were, or never were. Maybe we could argue that too. What is a good pay plan metric for an internet manager or an e-commerce director?
So let's start with BDC manager. For BDC managers, I like to pay them on appointment shows, and only appointment shows that are verified by the floor, so that they're not spending the last week of the month or the first week of the new month doing what I call reconciliation, right? Somebody named Barbara Jones submitted a lead middle of the month. Somebody with the last name Jones bought yesterday, ergo that's an internet deal. So that's part of it. For an internet manager, I like to pay them like I pay a sales manager. I want to pay them, we're talking about somebody who manages a team of internet end-to-end sellers, or is in charge of getting the leads to the floor and managing how the floor does with the leads. That position, I want to pay them like a sales manager. I want to pay them on gross. I want to pay them on how much money the store makes. I want to go that route with them. So, and you'll see in my book, Assumptive Selling, which will be available in paperback within 2 weeks. I talk about pay plans in there. And one of the things that I see, there are two problems I see with pay plans. One is no one thinks about how they can get cheated when they create their first pay plan, right? And so everybody cheats them, and then it blows up the pay plan. The other side is some people try to get too cute. So I just helped a Toyota dealer in California, and their biggest opportunity is internet sales. And I proposed my protected prospects rule that the internet team stopped getting credit for anybody who doesn't arrive within 45 minutes either way of an appointment. And they didn't put that in place. Instead, they put, I think, 18 or 20 qualifiers that you have to hit in order to get your pay. Like, what? Like, stop. And silly stuff, too, like, about number of phone calls per day. They have to make X number of calls per day. Well, wait a minute. No, they don't. They have to make as many calls as the CRM asks them to make, right? So all your activities are done, and you get credit for anybody who shows up for an appointment on time. Other than that, I don't care. Why waste your time?
There's another one. Drop a bunch of KPI qualifiers into a pay plan. That's a good one.
Yeah. It's crazy. All you're doing is asking people to check boxes.
Right.
They're going to check that box. Yeah, I made my calls, boss. It's all bullshit.
That's
my first curse word today.
No.
Oh, that's amazing. Really?
I'll hold that. Well, it's only 10:30 here, so.
Oh, well, Jeff has beat you to some punches, I think. And I haven't dropped one yet. This is fucking amazing.
Not yet. Good job.
So, oh God, I had a train of
pay plans.
On now.
Box checking.
Yeah, it's gone.
Just like that.
Yeah. This happening a lot these days. Must be the water down here.
It's called age and then pen and paper, bro.
I don't know, but there is something called Prevagen that's supposed to help with memory. And you know what their big selling point is? If you've ever seen their commercials, it's made from an ingredient found in jellyfish. Oh, because jellyfish are so known for their memories. If you told me Prevagen was made out of elephant brains, we'd be talking. Made out of jellyfish? Woo! I got jellyfish brains, people. Let me buy some more Prevagen.
What's this called? What's it called?
Anyway.
Prevagen.
Prevagen. You've never seen these commercials? Oh my God, they're on TV as much as the My Pillow guy. Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. I've got giant sausage fingers. Sorry, I digress.
That's the best salesperson ever, right there.
Oh,
takes some crap ass foam, sticks it in a pillow thing. It's just amazing. He writes his ode awards. That's the other best part.
I know.
Shit.
Yeah, the American Pillow Association or whatever, or Sleep Foundation. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're the first winner of the American Sleep Foundation for best pillow invented in Minnesota.
I would hate it if he was a car dealer, have to compete against him.
Oh, he'd crush it. He'd absolutely crush it.
Who watches TV?
Apparently,
I do now. I got YouTube TV. I got rid of Spectrum Cable. I got YouTube TV, and I'm telling you, I'm watching more commercial TV than I ever did because it's such a great little interface. The Spectrum was terrible. This is right on my phone. I changed channels from my phone. It's great.
Which one is it?
YouTube TV. It's $40 a month.
I signed up for YouTube.
Yeah, it's got all the locals.
Yeah.
So
I started off with the Sony PlayStation View, which you don't need the PlayStation to view it. It's just their TV app. They bumped up the price. I went over to the Hulu. That was a horrible interface. It's fine with the traditional, recording stuff or the traditional Hulu style, but they didn't have a channel guide. No channel guide. So then I jumped over to the YouTube, mostly because I wanted to watch the whole season of Cobra Kai.
Oh, was that on YouTube channel?
Yeah.
I thought there was, I got to go watch it. I didn't know you could do that.
Don't be confused. I'm confused, so don't get confused like me. There's YouTube Red, and then there's YouTube TV. And in the beginning, you needed YouTube Red in order to watch Cobra Kai, to watch it on your YouTube TV.
Oh, it's those Google smoke and mirrors again.
Yeah. So, but I hear
Yeah.
that they've changed it. All you need is, or they're getting rid of Google, or they're getting rid of YouTube Red, and it's just going to be YouTube TV. So I guess we'll see. But anyways, I am using the YouTube TV. I find it to be the best one so far, and I can do everything from my phone. The app is seamless. I like it. Yeah, I got rid of DirecTV.
Got it.
Year and a half, 2 years ago.
Well, Craig is saying they don't have any options in Canada, so either he needs to use one of his VPNs or get down here before the wall is built.
Well, Steve,
That's right. Hurry.
You're actually watching more commercials now. Is this something that dealerships should be looking into? I mean, speaking of
well, so for the local channels, the commercials,
with TV.
Yeah, so I think for the local channels, the commercials are what the local channel runs anyway. So I don't know, but yeah, I mean, listen, I'm in a market that Dave Smith Motors is in. Their main location is 45 minutes from us in Kellogg, Idaho, and they're on TV. They're on the radio. You hear them everywhere. You hear them cross country on Sirius satellite radio, but you know, dealers are getting hoodwinked with this whole digital marketing thing, and I mean that's for another show, but. You know, when you look at your Google Analytics, most everybody finds you by your own name, whether it's pay-per-click or organic. So if that's how they're getting to your site, how did they hear about you, right? They either drove by or they saw your commercial. And maybe they saw your commercial from years ago. But yeah, I mean, I tell my dealers all the time to spend some money on TV, spend some money on radio. Before I forget, Alex, I happen to have 2 of these if you don't have one. So I just realized that as I saw Jeff, you know, if you want me to send you one of these, I will.
Yeah. My grandfather would like one on his abacus here.
There we go. That's right. All right. I'll put one in the mail with your new book when the book comes out.
All right.
Slide over the trade pending and gets interested in their product. Be sure to mention Dealer Refresh. Same way with Podium as well. If you voyage over to the Podium website, we do have ads on Dealer Refresh. You can click on those and it'll take you to a separate landing page. But we know how that goes when it comes to conversion on landing pages. Yes.
So real quick, you just mentioned it. Today is Ad Click Friday. And so, folks, I encourage you to go to DealerRefresh.com and click on an ad so that you'll make the website give it more authority and make a few bucks for Jeff and Alex here. So Ad Click Friday, folks.
Yeah, we need some money to put into to put back into Dealer Refresh.
Well, we need you to come in and do it really fast so you can knock our bounce rate through the roof.
we need a high bounce rate. Hurry up.
We're shooting for 70% today, folks.
Damn.
Nice. Good,
yes,
good, it's good to have goals.
Rick, I want to see that thread from you on the forums, buddy. Rick Buffkin's got a little hoodwinked with digital marketing. Sounds like a good title to a thread on Dealer Refresh.
Nice.
So
I agree.
You're all over it, Rick. That's yours.
Steve, are you hitting up any conferences? We got Digital Dealer coming up in October?
Yeah, so I have a 20 group that week in Vegas, so I'll be around for at least one day of Digital Dealer. I tried to get a speaking spot there, a keynote spot, but they save those for panels because, you know, people just love hearing 4 people blather on about nothing that they can use in their dealership.
I prefer 3 people.
3 people blathering on, yeah.
Like this.
So anyway, so I probably will not, especially after just saying it here, I probably won't get a keynote spot at Digital Dealer. I don't want a workshop spot. I don't have anything to sell to dealers except my book. So, you know, anyway, so I'll be there though. We'll touch base. I'm also, I am speaking at the California New Car Dealers Association conference in Hawaii. They're paying for me to go there in October, so that'll be the week after Digital Dealer.
Did you say
California
Dealers Association?
The California New Car Dealers Association. Well, yeah. So why would they want to have? They all live in California. When they do their conference, they fly somewhere else. make it a vacation. So I'm excited about that. I don't know if I'm getting all the details next week, so I don't want to say I'm keynoting because that would just be boastful if I'm wrong. So, but if I am keynoting, I'll make a big deal about it. But anyway, if you're from California, if you're a California new car dealer, let's go to Maui together and watch me speak. Because as you know, I love my opinion. I enjoy my voice, enjoy the sound of it. So.
When is next Digital Dealer? October,
yeah, I think 18th. Let me look here. Oh, look. Hey, while you guys talk, I'll find out. There we go.
Yeah, I've got the website pulled up. We'll have some ads up, and typically we've always got a few discount coupons that we're able to hand out on Dealer Refresh. So keep an eye open for those.
Yeah, 16th to the 18th.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll be there for at least the first day. My 20 group is on the 16th. So
okay.
Where is it this year?
It's Vegas.
Oh, sorry. What
at the Mirage.
Hotel? Mirage, okay.
Mirage. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
I do miss the days of the what was it, the Rosin Shingle Creek or whatever?
Oh, in Orlando, yeah.
Oh, the Rosin.
Yeah, where everyone was stuck together in the same spot. That was actually pretty fun.
It was a good conference, but you couldn't walk to go get something to eat like you can in Vegas. So
true.
They had those shitty deli sandwiches that were $15 each and made on hard bread with crappy meats. That's the Rosin or Rosin. I don't know.
No
Rosin, Rosin. Either way, it's good.
No sushi burritos?
No, not like Vegas. Not like Vegas, baby. Love the sushi burritos in Vegas. Jeff,
No.
You still owe me one.
I do.
All right. I'll hold out for it. There's a sushi. I think I told you last time.
Yes.
We did a Refresh Friday. There's a sushi burrito place on the Strip now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next to the In-N-Out Burger on the Strip. Both on the Strip. It's hard to figure out which one to do.
Oh yeah. So we'll put it together.
All right. Yep.
So any more conferences coming up that you're aware of offhand?
Well, the drive
puts something together all the time.
Yeah, he's got the website where you can get the it's Storyteller spelled wrong.com.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just follow Arnold T Arena on Facebook, and then when he posts new conferences, he'll post them there. He also posts all the parties, which is great. There's just so many conferences. I'll go to any of them where they want me to speak, but I can't go out of my way to go to every one. There's just too many.
There are a lot. There's more now than ever before. I don't even know which ones to go to. I used to keep it narrowed down just to driving sales, but that's no longer.
Yeah.
There, but I should put Digital Dealer back into the mix.
You should. Yeah. Digital Dealer's a little better attended. Driving sales probably has a little less vendor pitches, I guess. I really enjoyed my first ever Innovative Dealer Summit that the Colorado Auto Dealers Association puts on in Denver in conjunction with the Denver Auto Show, what Tim Jackson does.
Yeah.
I did my first one this year. It was great. And I'll tell you what, all the sessions I went to were completely void of sales pitches. I don't know if it's because Arnold, who's involved in that as well, does a good job of picking out speakers that are going to provide real advice. But I think dealers, especially anybody in the West, should be. It's not just for Colorado dealers. Anybody in the West really should be going to that Innovative Dealer Summit. I think it's in like February or March in Denver. So.
Yeah, I've been to that one quite a few times. Any other KPIs? Steve?
Well, yeah,
none matter.
Yeah, none matter. Just that.
Go ahead.
Does it sell cars KPI? But how about VDP views? That's always a fun one.
Yeah. Well, I think whenever you have a lot of VDP views, you get some penicillin. That's what they taught me in the Marine Corps. Oh no, that was a different VDP. All right. So back to VDP views. Yeah. So again, if it's something that a bot can do, if it's not something that only a human can do, I may measure it, but I'm going to look at it in relative terms, and I'm going to want to compare it to another metric. So, we can laugh at all we want at form leads. I kind of like form leads because it gives me a chance to set an appointment that shows. That said, if somebody's sending me a ton of VDP views, great. I'm going to divide the number of leads they sent me into the number of VDP views and look at that percentage. And so if their VDP views equal, 1% conversion rate to uniques, and my typical visitor is a 3% conversion rate to uniques, we'll just use silly numbers, then their VDP views are worthless that they're sending me, right? So again, the disc test doesn't sell cars. I make no mistake, I will look at them, but like when I go into work with a dealership and their digital marketing guy comes out, with a group or a dealership, and he's got all these reports and these beautiful spreadsheets and stuff, and they're measuring all these metrics, and I just ask them, like, okay, so based on this metric, should we spend more or less with this vendor? Or the same?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. Well, then stop measuring it, right? Because the metric is worthless. That's what every metric should show us. Should we start doing more of this or less of this, right? Or should we keep doing the same? If you can't tell that, then spend that money that you're spending on that vendor. If none of their reports can tell you that, buy a bus bench billboard in your market. That way, when you drive by, you see your name, maybe your picture next to somebody who's waiting on the bus. It's exciting stuff. Yeah.
Some good old ego.
So
Anyway.
You just said that that you don't mind some form submissions, and
Love me form submissions.
You're feeding the problem, huh? So there are some forms that are definitely worthy. Credit application. What are some other ones?
Yeah, but credit application gets misconstrued in their industry. I know it does on the dealership level quickly, because you get salespeople that will send customers to the credit application on the dealership website. So I've always encouraged
have two.
to have two different credit apps. You got one forward-facing on the dealership website. It's there for conversion. And then you've got one that is there for salespeople to link the consumer directly to. And they need to be completely separate of each other.
Yes. So you're absolutely right. And in fact, the one that is hidden, that's the direct link that you give to your sales team, that's a full credit application. The one on your website is only there for lead generation. Get the one that Black Book or Hearst Autos or Jumpstart, whatever the name is today, offers. It's a soft pull of the credit, and it's just very simple. I forget what they call it, and it may be a car and driver form now, but call your Black Book guy, add that to your website. That's for consumers to fill out. It does a soft pull. It doesn't ask for social. It generates leads. That's what it's supposed to do. A couple people said trade-in forms. Absolutely. Love trade-in forms. Trade pending, Black Book, either of them, they do. Those are a big deal. Anything that trades the consumer's information for something of value. Somebody Christine put the drive it now, shop by payment. That's a good form, because you're getting
up too. That was one of the first ones that I ran into that did the soft credit pull.
Right. And the consumer gets a little information for what you're asking them to do. Hey, give us your information. Back in the old days, and people still have, even though they might be priced to market, back in the old days, the Get ePrice, dealer.com discovered that. Alex, were you the one who discovered Get ePrice, making that a call to action? That was the best.
I don't know if I discovered it, but we definitely used it.
Yeah, you guys were the first place that I ever saw Get ePrice, and that became the #1 conversion form on dealer.com sites for a very long time. I mean, today we're priced to market, and so you probably need check availability as a better call to action. Say on a used car.
What the hell is ePrice?
Who cares?
I look back.
It got leads.
Well, we could go back and call it the iPrice now.
and some of the stupid
The high
lingo
price.
that we've used in the past
It's an Apple price.
to hope, drive conversion. And it really doesn't make any sense. We've taught the consumer. I actually have consumers now call, but okay, I want to speak to someone in your internet sales department. Are you kidding me? But yet we've caused that because we've used it in our advertising. We've used
It's pretty amazing how well we've trained the customer, haven't it? Isn't it?
Yeah. But then we complain about it later on. Doesn't make any sense.
Not if you read Assumptive Selling. You'll never complain about another customer again. Assumptive Selling, available on paperback within a couple of weeks. Follow me on the Facebook or the Twitter or the LinkedIn.
Where else can they go? We'll have something up on Dealer Refresh. People can.
Yeah, we'll put some stuff on Dealer Refresh, and I'll take some excerpts of it and put it on Dealer Refresh as well. But yeah, it'll be available out there on the Amazon, available for purchase. Dealers wanting to make bulk purchases.
In the Apple bookstore, I'm not going to buy it, Steve.
No.
Ooh, the Apple bookstore. There must be tens of books sold a month out of there.
I buy them all.
Well, guys,
I think it's available anywhere books are sold because I know Shit Sandwich is available at Barnes and Noble. So, there you go.
You mean
BarnesandNoble.com, that is.
You dropped off a box at your local Barnes and Nobles.
Yes, exactly.
Threw a price tag on there. Stood outside.
No, you can actually order it though. You can go to Barnes and Noble physical location and order it. They'll order it for you there and have it delivered there to your house.
I don't think I received a copy of it.
You seriously don't have a copy of Shit Sandwich?
I don't think I do.
I don't either.
Oh my God. Guys, all right. I will get you each copies.
Yeah.
I will sign you copies and send them to you. I'll send you an email that I'm going to make a note, send you an email, send me your actual mailing addresses. So
if it's not signed, I'm resending. Resend to sender.
We're going to boost your numbers 200%.
I'll sign them, and I'm going to sign them yearbook style to both of you, and I'm not going to say what that is. Just when you get it, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Only a few people get yearbook style signing. But seriously, at NADA this year, AutoWeb gave away 300 copies. I was at their booth every day signing copies of Shit Sandwich. It was a big deal. You guys should have come by the booth. It was a great booth. It was a bar.
Is AutoWeb still around? What are they doing?
AutoWeb they're rocking and rolling. People are idiots if they don't buy third-party leads from AutoWeb with the former AutoBytel. I'm just telling you, if you can't close them, it's a you problem. I'm telling you, we can have this for another discussion, folks. You know what? They're not sending you your own customers. If AutoWeb sends you somebody who's already in your database, guess what? You get credit for the lead. You never pay for your own customers, not like some other services.
All the services.
Everybody they send you is incremental.
Everyone's been doing it forever.
Yeah, I haven't handled internet leads in like 10 years and definitely was getting refunded for stuff.
Yeah.
So they're the last man standing. They bought D-Lix. They bought Auto USA. They're the last ones that generate the bulk of their third-party leads on their own.
Who's left in the third-party lead business? Who's left?
What's that?
Who's left?
Cars.com has New Leads Plus, which they're just those I don't recommend. There are trilogies out there. I think Detroit Trading, you can still get some.
Detroit Trading.
One other I can't think of. Yeah, but they're running a BDC and they're actually doing a good job. I think they're running the BDC for Carvana. Before I forget, Craig wants one in Canada. Craig, you have Amazon in Canada. It's spelled differently, right? It's spelled like poutine.
Amazon
something like that. Yeah.
We've
Amazon A.
We have new car leads. We have new car leads from Cars.com. We do pretty well with them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just
good. That's it. I'm glad to hear.
A lot of times it's geo as well, depending upon where you're located.
Absolutely. So, oh my God, Amazon.ca doesn't have it listed. All right, that's okay, Craig. I'm on it.
Here's Rick. He'll tell you his phone's ringing off the hook with people trying to sell him third-party leads.
So again, back to that real quick. AutoWeb, Cars.com. Who else in new car lead?
Um,
Well, it sounds like we need to
so
ask
Trilogy.
Rick.
Well,
We need to ask Rick.
Well, the worst ones you can get are the ones that your OEM sells you because they're buying the bottom of the barrel stuff. So
Typically,
yep.
yeah.
Well,
Well,
you got a problem with
no, not
the
typically,
leads that come from
definitely.
car shows?
Edmunds has their new car lead program.
Hey, Rick, you're probably spelling it wrong for the shit sandwich. Just look up Steve Stauning on Amazon.ca. I just looked myself up. It's $20.58 Canadian. So there you go, Kindle Unlimited is free in Canadian.
If you Google
You're on the Kindle Unlimited.
picture of Steve comes up.
That's right. Always has, even before the book.
No. That's where the inspiration came from. All right, gentlemen. It's almost 2:00.
That was a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
This is the worst. Excellent. Craig Hugheim. Is it Hugheim? I've been worried how to pronounce it. He just purchased my book. Look at
I
that.
just call him Craig H.
Craig H. So yeah, folks, I appreciate those of you who stuck around to the end of this. This is, as usual, every time I'm on Dealer Refresh, the audience gets cut in half. The hate flows in, and I'm not apologizing this time. I'm sorry. You guys got me back, and you get what you get.
I don't see any hate, and I see plenty of comments, but whatever you say, bro.
No, I mean the hate that'll come later.
Well, join us. Be sure to join us next Friday. Who do we have next Friday, Alex?
Well, we still got to finalize some of the details, but it could be a pretty interesting show.
Yeah.
If he can make it work, we've got the CEO of AutoSoft. So we're going to talk about some DMS from the not CDK and Reynolds pool.
Some small people.
Well, I don't know if I'd call them small.
No, I know. Well, smaller than they're not the club.
Yeah. They're not the Reynolds of the world. That's for sure.
But they're typically way more interesting to have a conversation with.
God, yeah.
So
AutoSoft, by the way, is the what you take when your Viagra lasts too long. Sorry.
Okay. We'll tell him that joke.
I just lost your.
Steve, we're cutting you off, man.
I lost your visitor for next week. Hopefully, he's not a sponsor. Actually, the dealers who I use, who use AutoSoft, are very happy. Sorry. I don't know. Sometimes you're on the air too long.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, if you can make anything other than CDK or Reynolds work, you're pretty strong.
Yep.
All right.
Indeed.
Next Friday, same time, Refresh Friday. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. Alex.
Thank you for having me for the last time.
It. Alex, next week you'll be back in the Vermont office.
I will, and I'll be waiting for Steve's next blackmail.
Yep. And a quick shout out to Christine over at Dealer Authority. Thanks for everything. She helps out with a lot of our promotions and such and Facebook. So she's doing a bang up job.
And brings the laughs.
Yes. So, all right. We'll see everybody next week.
Thanks all.
Bye.